so you don't have to. No, you're not. Get out of here! Go! Greetings, fellow children of the internet. You are not mistaken. That is me hanging out with Doug Walker. And that's because I got to meet him today at MomoCon, this really awesome anime convention in Atlanta. And both me and Christian were hanging out there today, meeting lots of interesting people, walking around in the dealer's room, wasting all our freaking money, and getting a lot of great footage for you guys. So expect a video for that in the next couple of days. It's going to look really, really great. But let's get relevant here and talk about this week's episode of One Piece, which was a badass action fest. I loved this week's episode, and it finally featured the confrontation between Luffy and Don Chinjao. But there was a lot of build-up to that, but at least it was all action. Even this one scene that involved Nami. So let's just break down some of the really great scenes this week. So first there's the Funk brothers, Bobby and Kelly Funk. In last week's episode, they revealed that they had some sort of weird power that I thought originally involved some strange magic hat. That is not the case. Apparently, Kelly ate this devil fruit, which turned him into a jacket man. He can literally turn his entire body into a suit that someone can wear, and when they put it on, he can actually control them. It's basically like Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me. I'd fuck me. Okay. I'd fuck me. I'd fuck me. I still can't do it!
I fuck me real hard!
You know what? Joke aborted! So I'm glad that wasn't creepy. So let's get back to the review. And we go back to the battle with the Funk brothers fighting against Sai and Boo. And they're frankly just whipping their ass with the combined abilities of Bobby's impenetrable body and Kelly's ability to control his body. They are the perfect fighting engine, and basically they just beat them both into the ground, but this ends up with this battle with him fighting against Sai, who is from the Kano Kingdom. And I was thinking about that a lot in this episode. I'm about to go off track for a second, but the Kano Kingdom, the Wano Kingdom, it's very similar to the name of Kinemon's country, and I'm really interested to see if there's some sort of connection between the two, because Kinemon's a samurai, and Don Chinjao and his group are basically these big group of martial artists. There has to be some sort of connection there. But still, more action. You have Ideo, the guy who has the big explosive punches, going up against Sai a little bit later on in the episode, but probably one of the coolest parts, and the thing you're going to remember the most, is Luffy versus Don Chinjao. And the build-up to it is pretty awesome. I actually really like the scene where they're using Jean Ango, the Cactus Bandit. He's collecting all these different weapons, and he walks up to Luffy, and he looks like frickin' Tenten with all of these weapons on top of him. And he starts to attack Luffy with all of his swords, just throwing them left and right, and he accidentally hits Don Chinjao in the stomach. And this is the point of the episode when you're just like, oh god. Everyone in the general area is fucked beyond belief. And it gives us this action scene, which is probably the best thing I've seen in the entire Dressrosa arc so far, because it completely demonstrates how powerful Don Chinjao is. Because going into this whole, like, big tournament arc, you sort of expect a lot of these side characters just to get thrown to the wayside and not really be all that important. And that's only because that's all we've seen so far. All these guys are getting fed to the damn fighting fish. But Don Chinjao, he takes it to this entirely new badass level where there's this scene where they start to charge at each other. And in the middle of this, there's Ideo, who's still fighting against Sai, and both Luffy and Don Chinjao just bat them out of the way. It's no problem at all. These guys were actually giving them problems earlier on. It's just so funny because they're so focused on fighting each other. And Luffy's in gear second. Don Chinjao activates his Haki ability. They both punch each other at the same time. And this results in this just massive Dr. Manhattan explosion, which just destroys the arena, blows everyone away, and knocks them out with their Conqueror's Haki. The scene is all the more funny because you get the reactions from everybody as it's happening, and you even get that hilarious announcer just stuck in pose with his goofy-ass tongue just flailing out of his mouth. It's a great scene, and it sets up how powerful Don Chinjao is, and how he's going to be a perfect opponent for Luffy. And I'm so glad that he wasn't defeated. I'm like, oh, he's going to fall over any second, and that's just going to be the end of the fight. But no, they're still standing. Everybody is jacked after seeing this, and it's great. Now, there is a scene in the middle of the episode which does sort of break the pacing a little bit, and it's just getting to see Nami and their group, who are still transformed into that weird art, and basically they're just starting to fight back. You got Nami, who has this big lightning bolt and starts electrocuting everybody, and they're getting ready to fight. That's all there is to say about that. So, what's the rundown on this week's episode of One Piece? I thought it was pretty damn good. One of the better action episodes I've seen in a long time, with a lot of attention to detail, especially in that last couple of minutes. I was a little disappointed by the fact that the name of the episode was basically making it seem like it was just going to be this huge battle episode between Chinjao and Luffy, and just like the brand new Godzilla movie, they saved it for the end. But in a way, that made me appreciate it all the bit more, and everything else that we saw in the beginning half was done really well. All the artwork and the animation was pretty good by One Piece standards. All the music cues were good. There was this scene where Luffy had just punched Chinjao, and there was this like big blinding light behind him, and this music comes in, and I don't know why, but it reminded me of like N64 Zelda music. It just had this like sort of weird medieval feel to it, and it made the scene look all the more cool. So, great episode right here. If you're following the series, you absolutely have to check this one out. It is an action fest that must be seen, if only to see Don Chinchao and Luffy fight. So, check it out, guys. Kick-ass episode. If you guys watched this week's episode of One Piece, I would love to hear your thoughts about it. And you can tell me with your comments below. What was your favorite action scene from this week? And what do you think is going to happen in the next battle between Luffy and Don Chinchao? Remember, guys, before you leave, make sure to hit that like button so you can give this video a thumbs up. And remember, if you haven't subscribed to our channel already, please do so you can see all of our latest anime and manga reviews. You can also check us out on Facebook and on Twitter. And if you'd like, you can directly donate to us through our PayPal. So guys, I'll see you next time. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out. Hold on.
Just go to that dark place.
Here we go. It's really hard to get there. Hold on.
Fuck me.
Okay.